The Bhagavad Gita, a timeless dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna, unfolds on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. This ancient text, revered by millions, offers profound insights into the human condition and the eternal struggle between good and evil, duty and desire, knowledge and ignorance. Yet this battlefield symbolizes the inner struggle within each of us. It represents the conflicts we face in our daily lives, the choices we must make, and the battles we fight within our own minds and hearts. Chapter 14, titled Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, delves into the heart of this struggle, unveiling the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. These three qualities are the fundamental forces that influence our behavior, thoughts, and actions. These forces, according to Samkhya philosophy, are the very threads that weave the fabric of our existence. They are present in everything we do, shaping our experiences and our perceptions of the world around us. Arjuna, facing a moral crisis, seeks guidance from Krishna. He is torn between his duty as a warrior and his love for his family and friends, who are on the opposing side of the battle. He wants to understand the nature of these gunas and how they bind us to the cycle of birth and death. He seeks to know how he can rise above these forces and attain true wisdom and liberation. Krishna, in his infinite wisdom, explains that these gunas are not external forces but inherent qualities present in all of us. They are the driving forces behind our actions and our desires, and understanding them is key to mastering our own minds. Understanding these gunas is crucial for spiritual progress. By recognizing how they influence us, we can begin to control them rather than being controlled by them. It is the first step towards liberation, towards breaking free from the shackles of our lower nature. This knowledge empowers us to rise above our base instincts and achieve a higher state of consciousness. Through this knowledge, we begin to see the world and ourselves with greater clarity. We learn to navigate the complexities of life with wisdom and grace, ultimately leading us to a path of peace and fulfillment. Krishna begins by explaining that the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, are born of prakriti, the primordial nature. These gunas are the fundamental qualities or energies that make up the fabric of the universe. They are intrinsic to all forms of life and matter, influencing everything from the smallest atom to the largest celestial bodies. They are the forces that govern the material world and influence every aspect of our being, our thoughts, emotions, actions, and even our destiny. The interplay of these gunas creates the diversity and complexity we observe in the world around us. Sattva, the guna of purity, is associated with light, knowledge, and harmony. It is the force that brings about clarity, peace, and a sense of well-being. When sattva predominates, our minds are calm, our thoughts are clear, and we are more inclined towards wisdom and spiritual growth. It brings about clarity, peace, and a sense of well-being. Sattva is like the morning light that dispels the darkness of night, illuminating our path and guiding us towards higher consciousness. Rajas, the guna of action and passion, is characterized by energy, movement, and desire. It is the driving force behind our ambitions, our drives, and our material pursuits. Rajas fuels our creativity and our desire to achieve and excel. It fuels our ambitions, drives, and material pursuits. However, when Rajas is in excess, it can lead to restlessness, anxiety, and a never-ending cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. Tamas, the guna of inertia, is associated with darkness, ignorance, and delusion. It manifests as laziness, lethargy, and attachment to worldly pleasures. Tamas is the force that clouds our judgment and keeps us bound to the material world. It manifests as laziness, lethargy, and attachment to worldly pleasures. When tamas predominates, we are more likely to be confused, depressed, and disconnected from our true selves. These gunas are not static but dynamic forces, constantly interacting and influencing each other. The balance of these gunas within us can change from moment to moment depending on our actions, thoughts, and environment. They are like the three strands of a rope, interwoven and inseparable. Just as the strands of a rope work together to create strength and stability, the gunas work together to shape our experiences and our lives. The interplay of these gunas determines our experiences and shapes the course of our lives. By understanding and balancing these forces within us, we can achieve greater harmony and fulfillment in our journey through life. Sattva, the guna of purity, is the illuminating force within us. It is the source of knowledge, wisdom, and spiritual understanding. Sattva brings clarity to the mind, allowing us to perceive the world with greater objectivity and discernment. When sattva is predominant, we experience joy, contentment, and inner peace. Our actions are guided by wisdom and compassion. We are less affected by external circumstances and more anchored in our true nature. Sattva paves the path towards self-realization. However, even sattva, in its purest form, can bind us to the cycle of birth and death. This is because even the pursuit of spiritual knowledge and enlightenment can become a subtle form of attachment. Rajas, the guna of action and passion, is the driving force behind all movement and change. It is the energy that propels us forward, fueling our desires, ambitions, and pursuits. Rajas is essential for growth and progress. It motivates us to act, to strive for excellence, and to create. Without Rajas, the world would stagnate. However, when Rajas dominates, it can lead to restlessness, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. Our desires become insatiable, and we are constantly seeking external gratification. We become attached to the fruits of our actions, caught in a never-ending cycle of wanting and striving. Section 5. Tamas, the Veil of Inertia. Tamas, the guna of inertia, is the force of darkness and delusion. It clouds our judgment, dulls our senses, and creates a sense of separation from our true nature. When tamas is predominant, we experience laziness, lethargy, and a lack of motivation. We become attached to comfort and indulge in excessive sleep, overeating, and other forms of sensory gratification. Tamas keeps us trapped in ignorance and prevents us from realizing our true potential. It is the root cause of suffering, pain, and unhappiness. Section 6. Transcending the Gunas, a portrait of liberation. Arjuna, eager to understand the path to liberation, asks Krishna how to recognize someone who has transcended the influence of the Gunas. Krishna describes such a being as one who is free from attachment, fear, and anger. They remain steady in the face of both praise and blame, treating both success and failure with equanimity. They are content in the present moment, free from longing for the future or regret for the past. Their actions are selfless, performed with a sense of detachment and dedicated to the welfare of all beings. They are not driven by ego but act as instruments of the divine will. Section 7. Devotion, the path to freedom. Krishna emphasizes that the key to transcending the gunas lies in unwavering devotion to the divine. Through sincere devotion, we purify our hearts and minds, gradually weakening the grip of the gunas. Devotion involves surrendering our ego, our limited sense of self, to something greater than ourselves. It is through this surrender that we experience true freedom and liberation. Krishna assures Arjuna that those who are devoted to him will surely attain him. He becomes their guide and protector, leading them towards the ultimate goal of life. Section 8. The play of gunas and the illusion of self. Krishna explains that the gunas, while influencing our experiences, do not affect the true self, the Atman. The gunas, which are the fundamental qualities of nature, create the illusion of change and movement in the world. They are responsible for the diversity of experiences and emotions we encounter. However, these qualities are external and do not touch the core of our being. The Atman is eternal, unchanging, and beyond the reach of the gunas. It remains unaffected by the fluctuations of the material world. This eternal essence is like a silent observer, witnessing the dance of the gunas without getting entangled in their play. It is the witness consciousness that observes the play of the gunas without being touched by them. Just as a mirror reflects images without being altered by them, the Atman reflects the activities of the gunas without being changed. This understanding helps us to see the distinction between the transient and the eternal. Our identification with the ego, the limited sense of self, is the root cause of our bondage to the gunas. The ego clings to the temporary and the changing, creating a false sense of identity. This attachment leads to suffering and confusion, as we mistake the impermanent for the permanent. The ego identifies with the body, mind, and senses, mistaking the impermanent for the permanent. It is through this misidentification that we experience the ups and downs of life, the joys and sorrows, the successes and failures. By recognizing this illusion, we can begin to detach from the ego's grip. Through spiritual practice, self-reflection, and the grace of the divine, we begin to disidentify from the ego and realize our true nature as the Atma. This journey of self-discovery leads to inner peace and liberation, as we align ourselves with the eternal and unchanging essence within. By cultivating awareness and understanding, we transcend the play of the Gunas and awaken to our true self. Section 9. The Eternal Dance, Liberation and the Gunas. Even after attaining liberation, the Gunas continue to exist. However, the liberated being is no longer bound by them. They witness the play of the Gunas with detachment and equanimity, like a dancer who is aware of the movements of their body, but remains untouched by them. The path to liberation is a journey of self-discovery and transformation. It is a process of purifying our minds and hearts, cultivating virtues, and surrendering to the divine will. Through understanding the nature of the Gunas and transcending their influence, we free ourselves from the cycle of birth and death and attain lasting peace and liberation.